had some really good away performances this season, in particular recently. I think we've only lost one since you took over at Peterborough. How much confidence can you take from that, to perform on our travels?
Yeah, you just take confidence from all performances, Chris, you know, and as I said many times, I think, you know, these group of lads, they're capable of going anywhere and playing anyone and picking up points now. So, yeah, no, we're very confident.
In terms of looking back at Saturday, you wasn't too happy with the second half, but you were quite pleased that the players weren't overjoyed with it, and I take it they've come back with a renewed sense of determination.
Yeah, I set them a few things. We didn't hurt them enough, and that's things we got to look at. But we're fully aware of where we need to improve. We know there needs to be more of a purpose behind our football sometimes, and we carry more of a threat, more like we did against Charlton. But you know, as I said, these things take time, and it was just second half was just more disappointing because, you know, we didn't implement our identity on them. We didn't do enough of what we're capable of doing. Obviously, you know, they offer problems as well. They're in a good run of form and done very well against some top sides. But yeah, I just thought we weren't where we need to be. But on a positive, we restricted them to one shot on goal, you know, which was the penalty. So, you know, there's still positives, and as I said, the performances aren't always going to be exactly where you want them, so you just go back and keep looking at where we need to improve, and we're fully aware where we need to improve, but we need to make sure that we keep that real solid foundation, because that's what we've got now.
Whatever's been happening in these games, the thing that has remained constant, which is a welcome aspect, is the late goals, which happened again on Saturday. Is it a tribute as well to the people behind the scenes, the staff supporting you with the fitness regime that's put in place?
I think it's everything. It's everything that the staff are doing. You know, there's loads of things that you won't see. Obviously, you know, we got a restarts coach with Andy, and you know, so there's little things that people won't notice, like Northampton are a threat from throw-ins in terms of what they do from throw-ins. They offer lots of problems, and I'm not talking about throw-ins in your defensive third. I'm talking about continuous from throw-ins, the way they get the ball forward, the way they ask questions of you, and we really nullify them on that, which gives you momentum. And there's lots of little things, you know. Chris is obviously keeping the lads in good condition. Tim's, you know, getting them ticking over, educating them to look after themselves. But I think, you know, the late goals comes from a purpose of why we're all together more than anything. I think that's the reason. When we all first come together, you know, I spoke about it. It's why we're here. Why are we together? And I think people forget why they're playing football. People forget why they're in football. So our big thing together was coming up with our why. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? And as I said, when you've got a purpose behind everything you do, it keeps driving you on. It keeps pushing you on. And I think that's as much as anything, you know. And that comes from everyone. That comes from the staff, the players, everyone in the building.
We've just seen now a few laughs and jokes with the players, getting up to stuff at the training ground. There's a time and a place for that though as well, isn't there?
Of course there is, yeah. I mean, you know, I know people think I'm really serious, but that's because it's a serious business. But yeah, but at the same time, you have your times when you relax and you want them to have a laugh, and you can see they're in great spirits. The environment's really relaxed, but then when it comes to work, we go to work.
Great to see Joe Pickett back on the score sheet on Saturday. Perhaps signs that he's reaching that form that kept us up 2 years ago when he was so pivotal in the Great Escape.
I think Joe's form's been really good. I just think it's different games. I thought he was excellent against Charlton in the way he brought people into play. The great thing is, as I said, on Saturday he got himself into an area where I know it was a deflection, but that's key, and we need more players doing that. That's something that we need to be working on and get better at, is getting players in those areas where there's a bit of chaos, and then you're going to score more goals like that. So I was really pleased that it was a scruffy goal in many ways, because if you look at our winner against, you know, Gillingham, those don't happen too often. They're great when they do happen because everyone remembers them, but most of the goals are scored in and around the penalty area, second 6-yard box. So, you know, that's something we got to get better at. But that doesn't just mean slinging predictable balls in, because if that was the way, then everyone would just do that. So, but it's an area we've got to get better at. So it was good that Joe got that kind of scruffy finish.
Good to see Ethan Chislett come on as well in the same game. You've kept pretty much a settled team during your time in charge. Perhaps a few changes that you can phase in now as well in the coming weeks.
Well, we're getting back now to 2 games a week, so that will, you know, possibly need to happen, because, you know, I keep going on about the intensity we want to play at, and we've reached it in certain games, you know, Blackpool, Charlton, and we haven't reached it in others. So that's, you know, if the players aren't doing it, then they'll come out and I'll put someone in who will, or if they need to freshen up because they physically can't do it, then we need to do that as well. So as I keep saying to the lads, it's a squad thing, and we're all in it together, and everyone's got to be ready to play their part.
Team news, what have we got? Have we got a full complement virtually heading towards Plymouth?
Yeah, pretty much, apart from the ones that you obviously know about, but PK could now be back in the frame potentially, so he's been back to full training. Just need to sort of see how he's feeling, but yeah, no, it's all good.
And he's a fit lad, isn't he? So you'd have no qualms if it came to that decision about telling
No,
him.
no, not a problem at all. He's and he's been in this position before, obviously. So, you know, although he's a young player, he's had experience of playing in this sort of situation.
I mean, hearing the recent radio interview, you having a laughing a joke with Ryan Lowe, the Plymouth manager. Are you an admirer of the way his teams play football, very attacking?
Yeah, I'm an admirer of anyone who plays attacking football, because, you know, it takes a certain amount of guts to play sort of a possession-based, exciting in football. You know, and people say you can't play it in the lower divisions, but there are lots of teams doing it now. You know, where it's not predictable, and you know, I think a few people are saying, oh, it's the way I like to play. It's not about me and where I like to play. It's about what we need to do as a club, as I keep saying, to grow this football club. So, you know, we're a million miles away from where I see us going in the future in terms of how attacking play looks. But as I keep saying, if we're going to keep our best youngsters and grow in the academy, then it's the only way forward. Otherwise, we're losing, because if we're going to get the best possible loans, it's the only way. And if we're going to attract players, for me, it's the only way to have sustainability moving forward.